So Bob Arum reacts to the Jared Big Baby Anderson fight a couple of months after he took a loss to Martin Bakole. And he says, it was the stupidest fight because Jared Anderson took the payday that these guys was waving in front of him. Not saying that he was money hungry, he knows that anybody would take a payday that's lucrative, even he would. So he's just saying, as far as like, it's hard to turn the money down. These guys see an opportunity and they go for it. And he's just saying that the matchup, he's looking at it from a standpoint as the matchup, just the fight overall. Bob knows boxing, so just the fight overall, he's like, it was an early fight for him. You can say a lot of things about what went wrong in the fight and his whole approach, but he knows the fight game and how these guys are supposed to approach certain fights and if they're ready. And based on the guys they faced, should I put them in the ring with this guy? Even when Bob put FA in there with Frank Sanchez. So a lot of things play a part in how you pick a fight and how they look at certain fights. But the Bakole fight isn't something that he would have made because in Bob's eyes, he feels like a guy like Bakole is more ready to fight a guy like FA or something, or even the other guys at heavyweight. But he's not looking at Jared Anderson. That's why he was testing Jared Anderson with uh Charles Martin when the Charles Martin fight came around. So he wasn't really just moving fast on Charles Martin. Like, yeah, we seen how close the Charles Martin fight was towards the end. So we know he wasn't overlooking him or that they thought that was enough or that was a good enough performance. But after that fight, Turkey Al-Sheikh came to him, asked to offer him a fight with Wilder. Zhang, I know Zhang wanted to go with Parker, so he ended up going with in that direction. But Bakole was the last option, so they went with that fight, and he accepted immediately, and it was a good result. And we see what Jared Anderson was a little too early. He wasn't really ready. And I was saying that's because when I was hearing his name, Wilder and stuff like that, I was just like, we're just moving early on him because there's a lot of other heavyweights I don't think he can really mess with at this point. And we see why. It takes a lot of time at heavyweight. At heavyweight, it's hard for a young guy to just start coming up and fighting the elite guys. That's going to take some time. No matter what year it is, that's always going to be like that. Always. You rarely see a young guy at heavyweight come up and just dominate guys at heavyweight. That rarely ever happens. That's why Bob knows. He's like, yeah, we're trying to move slow. Take our time as far as Jared Anderson. Because the Charles Martin fight, I felt like that was a little early. Because I was like, whoa, but Charles wasn't active like that. And, he wasn't the same as he was a couple of years ago. So that's why they was able to do that fight. And not really a lot of things happened, but he did get cracked at the end, though. And that was telling. I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? He kind of out on his feet right now. If that fight would have went another round, I don't know, another 30 seconds, it would have been a wrap. Yeah, that's how that fight went. But yeah, it was very telling in that fight. But was I surprised in this? No, not really. I think all these guys can go like that in a 50-50 fight, especially when you're not active like that or you're just inexperienced. That can definitely happen. So, the way Bob looking at it, he was like, yeah, that was too early. I wouldn't have made the call on that one, but, that's what they doing right now. Business with Turkey Al-Sheikh. But that just lets you know, though, it can happen. So if fighters want to make a fight happen, they can do it. They just got to put it together as far as on his end. So you got to be both sides on a lot of these fights. But that just goes to show he's willing to make certain fights happen. I will say that. He's been pretty active the last, shoot, you could say 2 years, really, 2 or 3 years. Really, the last 4 years, but I'm just say 2 or 3 years. But on that fight, yeah, I understand why he say that. So it makes a lot of sense. That was a little early. A little early. I would have tried FA at least or something. That would have been a closer match. But in this one, yeah, what if FA does fight Jared Anderson down the line? I don't know. That could make sense at a certain point. I think those guys will have to fight each other at a certain point. But we'll see.